Hi everybody, welcome down to the channel. My name is Andy Carter and today I am talking and we are comparing these two. We've got a 4-iron and we've got a 4 hybrid. Now, very much a personal preference as to whether you prefer hybrids or irons. Now, also you could throw in the 5-wood in the mix there as well, or a 7-wood, depending on the lofts that you're going to be going for on your clubs. Now, personally for me, I'm an iron guy. I did put a hybrid into my bag a couple of weeks ago, didn't massively enjoy it, don't really enjoy the ball flight. I'm not hitting shots to try and get the ball more airborne. However, that is exactly what the hybrid gives you over the iron. Now there are golfers out there, you golfers watching this now, you'll be thinking, I prefer my iron. No, I prefer my hybrid. There's going to be a huge contrast in opinions, and that's all it really is. It is opinions. However, there is some fact to the difference between the clubs. Now, first of all, you can definitely see the difference in my clubs. Now, I've got one extreme to the other. I've got a bladed 4-iron and a hybrid in my hand. Now, you can see the big difference there between the heads as to whether, like obviously the hybrid's quite big and the iron there very much is tiny. Okay, when you look down on that, there's not much golf club to be looking at. Hybrids, why are they easier? Well, first of all, we're gonna be having a bigger head, okay? So we've got perimeter weighting, center of gravity further back in the head, perimeter weighting all the way around the head. So if you do hit the off-center hit, you hit the toe, you hit the heel, there's a bit more weight in behind those areas of the club face that give you a little bit more forgiveness. Imagine hitting this or a slightly chunkier version off the heel or the toe. There's not a huge amount of forgiveness in there for us to be hitting. Now, how are they different in terms of shaft? Well, I've got a steel shaft in one, which weighs 125 grams, and we've got the extra stiff graphite in the other, which weighs 100 grams. There's a 25 gram difference in the shaft alone. Now, what's that going to give you? It's going to give you one thing that majority of golfers struggle with, and that is speed. So if this is giving you more speed, it's got more weight behind the club face to help get the ball airborne. Those are two huge areas that are going to allow for more height, more consistency, a little bit more backspin, which will then produce less curvature. So absolutely ripped it. But to be fair, toe side of center. Now if I put the exact same strike on a 4-iron, would I get the same results? And the answer is no. I'd probably lose about 10 or 15 yards difference in between the two clubs, and that's why a hybrid is a very popular club choice. All right, so next up we've got the 4-iron. As you can probably see from the view in the camera, there's not a lot of fake hitting whatsoever. I've got no tee, so I'm just going to go for the feeling. So I'm going to be trying to use the sole of the club just to kind of glide along the grass. The difference is here, I've got a much smaller surface area, so if I do catch the blade into the ground first, I'm going to catch it very, very heavy. Whereas because the hybrid's got a bigger base, it's a lot easier to glide it across the ground. Now, I'm going to use the 4-iron. My centered hit is even more important with this. I've absolutely nailed it, to be perfectly honest. Distance wise, I'll be honest, is absolutely right next to the hybrid. However, I just said the hybrid are caught a little bit toey. So do I expect the hybrid to go further? On paper, bigger head, a little bit more weight into the center of the club, behind the center of the club face, slightly lighter shaft, which will allow me to get a little bit more distance. It's exactly the same loft angle. So yes, I would expect the hybrid to go a little bit further based on the way the club is made up. One of the hardest things about using these clubs is the fact that they've got lower loft. So they're probably both in and around about 19 degrees of loft. They're quite long. So we need speed to hit up on this, to hit this shot. We can't just rely on the loft of the golf club because it's not going to give us so much. So the worst thing you can do on this golf shot is be defensive, not really be overly positive to attack the ball. You've got to make sure that you're rotating that body, clearing the hips, getting the hands involved, getting the wrist working through impact, getting your upper body working, get your arms working. That when you start to get defensive on these clubs, you're not going to create the speed and the backspin to create the height to get that ball airborne. So you have to be positive. even if you're not that confident, you kind of have to be positive with the shot. If you start swinging it really soft and not really committing to it, like I just done then, I got away with it. I've not hit the ball very far at all, and I got a little bit of ground as I got the ball. So because I've got a little bit nervous, I've slowed down, I've laterally moved into the ball. A number of things can happen, but I've laterally moved into the ball there. I've just kind of dug down on the ball a little bit, and I've not really committed. Now I see a lot of golfers that will leave the face open, in particular when they're not confident. We kind of rotate and you almost try and steer it with your arms. Worst thing you can possibly do. You've got to let the arms kind of rotate, let the hips and the body rotate through the shot. You can't just steer it down there. So while you think you're trying to steer it straight, you're actually not. You're leaving the club face wide open. So be very wary of what you are trying to do with the shot. Be confident. With these clubs, we've got no room to be scared or to be wary or to try and steer it. You've got to commit to the shot. Hybrids are great because if you do get the off-center hit, it's going to do its absolute best to try and help you out. So go down to the range, give them both a try, compare them to each other, find out if you've got access to a TrackMan or anything like that. Look at the stats, look at when you actually hit it poorly, how far this goes compared to the iron, and you'll be very, well, you shouldn't be surprised, but it'd be nice to actually see the difference as well. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do hit that like. It does make a huge difference. I know we always say it, you see it on every YouTube channel, please hit the like. It does make a difference. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. If you do enjoy watching stuff on Facebook, I'm on Facebook as well, so Carter's Golf on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. But for today, from glorious Dubai, see you in a bit.